Good morning. Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Free Press Media Press Inc., an alternative parties books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bouchard.
Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Today we have Loren Springer on. He's going to talk to us about the exciting things he believes and the exciting things he does. So welcome to the podcast, Loren.
Thanks for having me, Andrew.
Loren, let us get started by you kindly giving us an introduction to yourself, a brief biographical sketch.
Oh, yeah, no problem. So, again, my name's Loren Springer. I'm the chair of the San Diego Libertarian Party out here in California. I've been politically a libertarian for, I'd say, about 11 years or so now. Started off as a teenager, joining in the military, active duty Navy right now. And I was very, very, very conservative, huge fan of George Bush, and, voted for John McCain. And it was my first deployment that kind of started to, put some cracks in my political leanings. I started to have a lot of disagreements with the Republican Party. My little brother, he's gay, and so a lot of my disagreements were coming from, more disagreements were coming from, I'd like him to be able to get married someday and everything like that. And, this is, back in 2010, gay marriage was a very different topic back then. I never had an issue with people, smoking weed or anything like that. So these are like some, really deep fundamental differences I had with Republicans at the time. And it was getting more and more difficult to justify why am I voting for these people that I disagree with them on so many things. The only thing I was agreeing with is, their supposed belief in a limited government and a balanced budget. I discovered Ron Paul thanks to one of my sailors who worked for me. This was about 2011 time frame, and she looked at me one day and we were going over like all of our political stuff, and she was like, "You need to look into Ron Paul." And I watched the debate. He was running for the GOP nomination, and he had an amazing debate, and I was just like, there's literally nothing he's saying that I disagree with. So that really, put a spark that, okay, I need to look into this libertarian thing more. I understood he was Republican, but he was a libertarian Republican. And after, he didn't get the nomination back in 2012, Gary Johnson was the Libertarian nominee, and, I was just like, well, that's, the equivalent of Ron Paul, but for the Libertarians. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to vote for Gary Johnson. That kind of was like the start of everything. I wasn't super active after that. I just kept voting Libertarian. I pretty much solidified that, that's the political party I choose to align with. And fast forward to 2020, COVID happens. Our Republican mayor in San Diego at the time, Kevin Faulconer, completely locked down the city. The county board of supervisors here in San Diego completely locked down the entire county. And I look up north to Riverside County, a very large county. We've got 10 million people in the county, so they're not exactly they're not rural or anything like that. There's rural areas, but, fairly densely populated county, and their board of supervisors has got a Libertarian, 2 Republicans, and 2 Democrats on it. Oh, and they looked at the state, they looked at Governor Gavin Newsom and his orders and said, you know what, no, we're going to do some research and we'll come back to you on if we're going to do these lockdowns. And Riverside County, at the end of the day, it was like, okay, we're not locking down anymore. We're setting everybody free. Their sheriff told the governor straight up, we're not going to enforce any of your lockdown orders. And it sparked a bug in me that, local politics has a greater impact than anything Sacramento can do and anything that D.C. can do. the biggest source of tyranny in people's lives, it comes from City Hall.
Interesting.
And that made me very angry to think that, driving north, just an hour's drive and I could be able to enjoy life again. It just really got me upset, and I was like, that's it. I need to get active. I need to do anything I can to change things here in San Diego at the local level. So, I just made myself as loud as I could, and the San Diego Libertarian Party was really receptive to me getting super involved. And back in January, we held our convention. They were like, you know what? You're the perfect candidate to be the new chair of the party. And so now I have a great ex-con behind me, and, the five of us, we're marching forward and really looking at changing, local politics here in San Diego. Awesome.
So it sounds like the spark of your greater involvement in activism was COVID.
Yeah, that's what got me off the sidelines. That's what was like, okay, I have these beliefs, but now the tyranny that I've been afraid of for so long is actually happening, and it's not coming from D.C. At the time, President Trump didn't sit there and say the entire country is locked down, puts a stamp on it. Biden never said the entire country is locked down and puts a stamp on it. It was state governments and local governments.
Huh. So as chair, what are your roles and responsibilities?
So some of my biggest roles is really a lot of administrative things. I'm doing, pretty much running every meeting that we have. And that's, our executive committee meetings, determining how we're going to spend money. I'm a very impartial voice that's on our board. I make it a point to not vote for anything. I try my best not to put forward motions or anything like that. I let the board do the talking, and I kind of put myself in a position to, settle disputes more than anything else. The other thing is, I am the face of the San Diego Libertarian Party. So I'm meeting with, local candidates that are trying to run for office, elected politicians that we have. I reach out to them, try and meet with them. A big thing with me is single issue coalition, so I don't care if it's a Republican, a Democrat, a Libertarian, a communist. It doesn't matter to me. If we have an agreement somewhere, I'm going to work with that person to, advance that facet of liberty. So being the face of the party, it allows me to be able to reach out to these people. So that's the, other big thing. And then, of course, I communicate, what San Diego Libertarian Party needs up to the state level so that, we're getting all the support that we need.
So other than the COVID issues that you discussed, what is San Diego facing, and how is the San Diego Libertarian Party addressing those issues?
That's actually a great question. Right now, we've got a board of supervisors. They recently just passed like a ghost gun ban. Our Second Amendment rights in San Diego, which were fairly protected, compared to the rest of California. It really wasn't that bad in San Diego. Is under attack right now. So really trying to push back on the gun grabbing that's occurring. The San Diego City Council passed a similar ghost gun ban. They kind of were the ones who put the bug in the Board of Supervisors' ear. And it's a ghost gun ban is really just a paper ban. It's not, it's almost unenforceable. You're going to have to go into everybody's garage and make sure they have a 3D printer or CNC machine, things like that. Like it's not an enforceable thing, but it's just, trying to, if you get caught with an unregistered weapon, now the penalties are going to be heavier kind of thing. Other things is, we've got a rampant homeless problem in San Diego. I mean, it's not on the level of like San Francisco or LA, but every year it's getting worse. COVID certainly did not help. And I was actually meeting with a local candidate here for Board of Supervisors, and as I'm driving to go meet with her, I'm passing a cop who's escorting a trash truck, and there's a family sitting on the corner, and everything they own is being thrown into this trash truck. Everything they own. And that's been the policy since Mayor Todd Gloria was elected, Democrat mayor here in San Diego. That's been the policy, is to just take everything that these people own and just throw it away to get them off of, camping on sidewalks and things like that. And I understand it's a nuisance. I understand it's an eyesore. It doesn't look pretty. It's bad optics for the city. We do have a very beautiful city here. But just throwing everybody's stuff away and telling them to move along is not a solution to homelessness. We're spending, in San Diego alone, millions and millions of dollars to solve this problem, but we're not seeing results. Where are the results? Why are these programs not being opted and saying, okay, where is the money going? I'm very against government spending to begin with, but I'm even more against it when I don't even know where the money's going, when I don't even see the results that they're saying is supposed to happen. We've got great programs out here like Father Joe's Ministries that has literally tried to build a skyscraper and wants to house homeless people in a skyscraper. And that's like the sole purpose of this organization. They've been around for almost 50 years. And they can't even build buildings to house people because of the government regulations here, the zoning restrictions. And it's like there are organizations that are ready to go as soon as the government just gets out of the way. Because these government programs obviously aren't solving anything. But these non-government organizations, like Father Joe's Ministries, are ready to do the job.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, other issues that we got, there's, I don't really focus too much on national issues, but there is a lot of illegal immigration, and, as a local party, we don't touch it too much, but we do understand that, being a border city, it is a problem that we face every day. And, I don't say problem as in there's a problem with people crossing the border. There's a problem of the borders are so difficult to come across legally that, we're creating a worse problem because, again, government interference. Granted, we can't solve it at our level, but our city is a victim of all these prohibitions because we live on the border, and it sucks because there's nothing we can do about it, being, at the local level of government. Drugs, the drug war is actually being stepped up quite a bit here in San Diego, which disturbs me because it's just going to lead to more police interactions. It's going to lead to, increasing in violence, which we've seen, which is why there's been such a, swift reaction from the local government to, attack guns and things like that. They're not addressing the root cause, which is the drug war that has completely failed within, the entire country, but especially in San Diego. That's just leading to more violence. As long as we have this black market that exists, we're going to continue to see this violence. No amount of banning guns or banning, illegal marijuana dispensaries or banning cocaine or heroin is going to stop the violence. It's going to have to be the government gets out of the way to help facilitate like those peaceful interactions.
Sure. So do you consider yourself open borders?
Some people say I'm open borders. Some people say I'm not open borders. It really depends on who I talk to. If I talk to a progressive, they think I'm closed borders. If I talk to a conservative, they think I'm open borders. I believe in the Ellis Island concept. Ellis Island worked great for decades. The first immigration laws in the country were passed in San Francisco in 1873 to stop Chinese immigration. We did great without any immigration laws to begin with, but even after starting to get immigration laws, we still had common sense of, we want people to come to the United States. We want immigrants. We built this country on the backs of immigrants. I mean, all of us are, descendants of immigrants for the most part.
Yeah.
So I want to see something like Ellis Island. You show up to the border, you cross, take your temperature, make sure you don't got any diseases, maybe like a 5-day quarantine if something seems off, and welcome to the United States. Enjoy your stay. Stay as long as you want. Stay here to work, go back, doesn't matter. You can, work on getting your citizenship. It's too hard to come here the right way. And that's what it boils down to. It costs thousands and thousands of dollars. The wait lists are insane. It takes years to be able to get a permanent visa to come here. It's unfair. What it boils down to. Our immigration system is completely unfair. So conservatives say I'm open borders. Progressives say that I'm closed borders.
So is your solution to the drug situation in San Antonio the same as your solution to the homeless, the private, charitable, perhaps religious organizations dealing with it, or maybe health agencies that are non-government related? Is that your solution to it?
Yeah, the solutions, I can't say like government would have to be completely out of the loop. I think there may be some room there. I think how government can be involved is like settling disputes, when it comes to these situations, because even though, I think a free market is a solution to most problems, there's bad actors out there. So I think, the role of government is to just settle any disputes that will rise between the bad actors and the good actors. So that's where I think the government should fit. And then outside of that, let these organizations that want to help but have their hands tied by regulations do what they want, do what they need to do what they're itching to do. There's so many great programs even here in San Diego. All these people that just want to help. I mean, I'm growing, I got like half my front yard dedicated to a farm. I can't even give my extra food away that I grow.
Oh, no.
I can't even, because I grow it myself, I can't give it away. I can't sell it. I got to have a license. Why do I have to have a license to give a bucket of, squash to, a homeless man on the corner? It's impossible to help people because of these regulations.
Yeah. What about small business? I imagine it's the same scenario for small business, that the San Antonio government is causing them more issues than they need. So kindly speak to that.
Yeah, funny you mention small businesses, because we actually just had the San Diego City Council add more regulations to small business within the last 2 weeks.
Oh, my.
So we saw over the last 2 years when the lockdowns happened, it destroyed small businesses across the country, but especially in areas that were super locked down like San Diego. There are many, many, many empty shops in these formerly thriving neighborhoods that are starting to come back, but it was a ghost town for almost a year and a half. North Park, which is a few blocks from where I live, North Park, San Diego, used to have every single store outlet filled with a restaurant or a bodega, a gym, something. And most of it was wiped out. It's just now beginning to recover. And that's not the fault of anything that happened in D.C., that's the fault of, people like, the former mayor, Kevin Faulconer, who locked everybody down. And, Todd Gloria kept it going on after he got elected. Our board of supervisors, spread it countywide. And, we hear the complaints that come from Democrats that people like Jeff Bezos, are making, billions and billions and billions of dollars. And Elon Musk is making billions and billions of dollars, Walmart, billions of dollars. Well, we just moved. We made the biggest wealth transfer in history happen because we shut down small businesses and we let Walmart and Target stay open. Amazon was in business full time. That was facilitated by the government. The only option we had was to go to Walmart or Target or have Amazon deliver stuff to us. That's all we had. Our entire small business infrastructure was gutted, and then the same people that gutted it are now complaining that we've got these, 100 billionaires. And it's like, you're the ones who created the problem. Because I would much rather go shop at a smaller store, not as many people in it, I don't have to be surrounded by hundreds of other people, especially with the pandemic going around. Going to a store where there's only 3 or 4 people in there, plus the employee. Like, that sounds like a much better alternative than walking into a Walmart. And I love supporting local businesses. That's one of the things I love to do. So, we gutted the small businesses in San Diego with these lockdowns and then complain about, billionaires. And then, San Diego, they just had this ordinance come out restricting street vendors. So now we've taken businesses away. People are desperate to make some money around here. It's expensive. And, they're like, okay, well, let's go ahead and sell tamales on the corner. Well, now they can't sell tamales on the corner. It's you've got to get a license now. You've got to make sure you're however many feet away. I think it's like, 15 feet away from a sidewalk, things like that. Like, all these new rules are hampering people that lost everything when we locked down. Now they can't even, now they're losing their food cart, and what are they going to do now? So we're just completely taking away even more ability of small businesses to be able to operate. The vice chair of the San Diego Libertarian Party, she's a hairdresser. She owns her own business. She had to go underground during the lockdown to keep her business afloat. She was desperate. She had to cut hair or she wasn't going to eat. She was going to be homeless. There was no help for her. So it's one of those things, like, the government got in the way and ruined small businesses. And, there's also the typical libertarian arguments, like licensing and things like that we don't believe in, and so that would help out small businesses even more. Like, why do you need to get a license to cut hair? Okay? Go ahead and get the insurance, let people make their own decisions on who's a good barber and who's not, if you want to go to school for it and get licensed, by all means, go and do it. The free market will decide that you're probably a better barber than someone who didn't go through all that. But the free market is smart enough to make those decisions. We don't need government creating these burdensome regulations on people who just want to live, basically.
So would you believe in licensing for any occupations or just a rare few?
I don't think that I have a belief that humanity is smart enough that they can sit there and make a decision on who they can trust.
Okay.
Would you? It's one of those things, like, would you, if you were being charged, with a DUI, would you want a lawyer that did a 1-year online course and calls himself a lawyer, or would you want someone who went to a proper law school for 8 years, went through the bar and everything like that? Who's the lawyer that you would hire? That's kind of what it boils down to. I think people are more than smart enough to make decisions, within a free market system.
So what services would you, if you could redesign San Diego's government, what would you keep?
Oh man, what would I keep? That's actually a much better question than what would I get rid of. What would I keep? There's really not much about our local government that I could see us keeping around. I guess, the police have to exist, the firefighters have to exist. I think we could get rid of the police unions. That would be fantastic. Get rid of the teacher union here. But, we could still keep those professions. The basic necessities is really all we need. A functioning city council, a mayor, the handful of departments that we need to have just because of, the state of California. Like, we have to have a water district, unfortunately. There's no way to get rid of it. We would have to have somebody overseeing, the power lines, which we do privately already, but, with SDG&E, they're the electric company here that runs, everything gas and power related. It's a private company that has no government oversight. I would actually like to see us be able to bring in some competition to them because we now have the highest electrical prices in the country. But, outside of those, basic necessities, there's really not much that government needs to be doing. It's hard to answer that because there's just not much, police, fire, that's it.
So what is San Diego Libertarian Party's plan for 2022?
Oh, that's awesome. So we're currently working on a actual bipartisan election right now. There is a wonderful woman named Amy Reichert who is running for the San Diego Board of Supervisors. She's endorsed by the San Diego GOP, and she's also endorsed by the San Diego Libertarian Party. So the way we do our local elections is they are all nonpartisan.
Okay.
So your party affiliation doesn't matter. I've had a lot of conversations with Amy Reichert. She's spoken to the Libertarian Party many times. And, I talk about, back in the day I used to be a Republican, and then I found Ron Paul, who was like a Libertarian Republican. Well, that's what we found in Amy Reichert, who is more Libertarian than she is Republican. She just happens to be registered as Republican. And, she said she was running, and we jumped on it, and we are really, really campaigning hard for her in a bipartisan effort with the San Diego GOP to get her elected. We're trying to get rid of the current chair of the Board of Supervisors, Nathan Fletcher, get her elected, take over that place, and bring a little bit of sanity, to our local politics here. She ran the Reopen San Diego group that from day one of the lockdowns was fantastic, holding rallies with thousands of people showing up. She was very careful to make sure that party politics did not play a role in Reopen San Diego. She was very, very upfront with her supporters. Like, if you're a Trump supporter, don't wear Trump stuff, because this isn't about Republicans and Democrats. This is about freeing San Diego. And I really love that about her. I had a long meeting with her, and a lot of the issues that me and you have already talked about, me and her have talked about. And we agree on most. We have disagreements on others. She's not cool with my ending the drug war policy. But if that's like the one thing that me and her are disagreeing on, but everything else we've got agreements, I'm calling that a win in that case. And, I can work with other people to end the drug war. I can sit there, I can work with, Miss Nora Vargas, who's on the Board of Supervisors, work with her to end the drug war, that kind of stuff. So, I'm going to take the wins where we can get them, and we're doing this in a way that we don't have to compromise our ideals as libertarians. We're not making deals with other political parties. We're not making deals with politicians. We're just putting our money where our mouth is and saying, like, look, this is the right person for the job. We support you, and we're going to, campaign hard for you. And, we're working completely separate from the San Diego GOP. We have had no communication with them. We've accepted her as our libertarian candidate for that office. And so that's a big thing right now. We've got another great candidate who is running as an independent in a city about 30 minutes north of San Diego called Escondido. He's running for city council, and he made it a point to run as an independent because he doesn't want any party to own him, and that's part of his, campaigning and part of his campaign message. But he is a libertarian. He's voted libertarian his entire life, and we endorsed him on the spot. He's running a recall effort for one of the board of supervisors, Rimmer Lawson, trying to get rid of her, and he's running for city council, and so we're putting all of our effort in with him to do our best to get him elected. So those are kind of the two big elections that we're working with. Like I mentioned earlier, really focused on local stuff. We're not running anybody for Congress, in the congressional districts we have in San Diego County. We're not running anybody for state senate. We're not running anybody for assembly because we need to fix San Diego. That's what it boils down to. We need to fix San Diego before we even have these, pie-in-the-sky dreams of being elected to assembly or elected to Congress. We need to win here in San Diego, show the people of San Diego that libertarianism works. We need to show that libertarians can work with other groups of people, through these single-issue coalitions. And then when we have that settled, then we can look at Sacramento and say, okay, now we're coming for you.
Sure. Sounds like a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's exciting. We not to say anything bad about the last board that we had, but the last board that we had was very hamstrung by COVID. They were very beat down by COVID. Morale was very low. And, I'm very excited with the new group that we have come in because it's all brand new people. It's all fresh ideas. It's been fantastic. Just the party as a whole, we're growing. Every week I'm getting, my emails keep getting blown up by people who are joining not just registering as a libertarian, but, paying a membership due and saying, yeah, I'm part of the San Diego Libertarian Party. We're getting to the point where now we have to have events multiple times a month in all different parts of the county. And I mean, San Diego County is bigger than some states. So, we're having to spread out to reach as many people as possible because there's a demand for us now. People are looking for us as an answer because they're being let down. People are let down by Republicans and Democrats. We saw that over COVID. Republican mayor was the one who locked us down. It wasn't a Democrat that did it. It was Republican. That's who locked us down. Then the Democrat got elected, and he just followed the status quo. Well, we're already locked down. We're staying locked down kind of thing. We've been hurt by both parties, at San Diego as a whole. So, it's a libertarian moment that is growing now, and I'm very honored to be standing here at the front lines and watching it grow. It's great. I couldn't do this job, within San Diego. I couldn't do it without all the support that everybody's giving me. It's a wild ride.
Awesome. So how can our audience out there, whether they live in San Diego area or elsewhere, how can they support your party?
Oh, great. So anybody can join the San Diego Libertarian Party. Anybody can donate to the San Diego Libertarian Party. We don't even say you got to live here. Go to sdlp.org. You can click on join, or you can click on donate. You can donate some money. If you join, that gets you membership to the San Diego Libertarian Party. and membership to the Libertarian Party of California. So it's a one-time fee. It lasts for a year. It's $25, and you get membership at both the local and the state level. That gives you full voting rights on party decisions that are happening. Gives you rights to be a delegate at conventions, and it really helps us when it comes time to elect people like Amy Reichert and Mike Johnson. It gives us that war chest that we need to win these elections. And, I'm seeing donations pouring in, and it's making me get really excited because it's like, okay, we're getting to a point where we can actually start fighting now. It's great to see. So, yeah, sdlp.org is our website. You can join there. You can follow us on Twitter. That is at SDLibertarian. And you can find us on Facebook as well, San Diego Libertarian Party.
Excellent. Loren, thank you for coming on the podcast today and talking about all the exciting things the San Diego Libertarian Party is doing.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me, Andrew. I love talking about this stuff. I could talk about it all day. So anytime you would like to have us on again, we would be more than happy. And I look forward to hearing from you again.
Awesome. All the best to you and the San Diego Libertarian Party.
All right, you too, man.
Take care.
All right, bye.